Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Man, Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here. So USA Today Sports just put out an article talking about how Major League Baseball is considering radical realignment for the 2020 season. So this is another plan that Major League Baseball is talking about right now. We put out a video a couple days ago talking about a plan where all teams would play in Arizona. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. This is another plan that Major League Baseball is talking about for the 2020 season. Now, in this plan, they would eliminate the traditional American League and National League, and all 6 divisions would be switched, okay? So it would basically be determined by where you play your spring training games, okay? We're going to get into exactly what the divisions would look like here in a second. So this plan would be for the 2020 season only, an abbreviated baseball season if Major League Baseball is able to get into season this summer. So according to the article, it says the plan would have all 30 teams returning to their spring training sites in Florida and Arizona, playing regular season games only in those 2 states and without fans in an effort to reduce travel and minimize risks in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. So basically, it would allow teams to have a home base at their spring training complex. They would then do about 3 weeks of training. They would have some exhibition games, and then they would begin their season against a completely new set of divisional teams. So this is how the divisions would be broken up. So there'd be the Grapefruit League and the Cactus League, okay? So that would take over for the American League and the National League. In the Grapefruit League, which is the Florida teams, the North would be the New York Yankees, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Detroit Tigers, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. In the South, you'd have the Boston Red Sox, the Minnesota Twins, the Atlanta Braves, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Baltimore Orioles. In the East, you'd have the Washington Nationals, the Houston Astros, the New York Mets, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Miami Marlins, okay? Then you'd have the Cactus League. The Cactus League is the Arizona League. In the Northeast, you'd have the Chicago Cubs, the San Francisco Giants, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Colorado Rockies, and the Oakland Athletics. In the West, you'd have the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Chicago White Sox, the Cincinnati Reds, the Cleveland Indians, and the Los Angeles Angels. And then in the Northwest, you'd have the Milwaukee Brewers, the San Diego Padres, the Seattle Mariners, the Texas Rangers, and the Kansas City Royals. So Tony La Russa, Hall of Fame manager, now Angels Senior Advisor of Baseball Operations, who has been briefed on this potential plan. This is what he had to say. He said, when you're trying to get really creative, why say no now? You have a unique season. I've got no problem with that. Okay, now a couple of people in my video from a few days ago where we talked about how all teams could potentially be in Arizona, a bunch of people said, well, why not just have games at both Florida and Arizona? That way teams can be in their spring training complexes, okay? So this is a similar plan to what people were talking about in the comments section. Now, what I had said was that teams in Arizona are much closer together, right? In Florida, the spring training complexes are much, much further apart. And that is actually, in this article, that is one thing that they talk about as a potential issue with these plans. So the Cactus League, it's much more flexible because the teams are really, really close together. Every single stadium is within an hour, maybe even within 45 minutes. And a lot of them are really, really close. Like I said in that video, I played for the Padres there, also the Indians, but mostly with the Padres in spring training, right? The Seattle Mariners share a complex with you. That's right there. The Rangers and the Royals are literally like almost down the street in Surprise. So a lot of the teams that would be in your division would literally be, if you're in Arizona, it'd be like a 5-minute drive, 10-minute drive to a lot of these places. Now, in Florida, much, much further. You've got teams that are kind of all over the state. And so we used to have to take really long bus rides there, right? And so, as it says in the article, you're trying to quarantine these players. You're trying to minimize or eliminate the spread of this virus completely. It's going to be tougher when you have to make these really, really long trips. Logistically, it becomes much more difficult than if you can just play all the games really, really close, right? It's a quick bus ride there and a quick bus ride back. You get right back into your hotel. Now, there are some benefits to this plan. According to the article, again, it says the Arizona-Florida plan has several advantages, including allowing teams to establish home bases with facilities they are familiar with. There would be 26 ballparks available to be used, including 3 major league dome stadiums, Tropicana Field, we've got Marlins Park, and then we have Chase Field over in Arizona. Now, another interesting thing to think about, I know a lot of people don't like to think about this or talk about this, but the article does talk about how financially it could be a really huge boon for TV right holders, right? So you could have basically baseball all day long. So you could play the Florida games, you could start them early in the morning, say like 11 o'clock, you could play those games as long as you want, and then you would have the West Coast games. Arizona would be able to play. And so basically you'd be able to go from the morning all the way through the night of having baseball on basically almost 24/7, which would be really cool. So how many times would you play against your division opponents and other teams in your state? According to the article, you'd play 12 games apiece against your new divisional opponents, then 6 games apiece against the other teams in your state. Now, there would be at least one doubleheader a night when all teams are scheduled to play because of the odd number of teams in each state. It also says the DH would be used in both leagues. Now, it says at the end of this, you'd have some type of World Series where you'd have the winner of the Cactus League playing against the winner of the Grapefruit League, and you could have those games in dome stadiums late in November. So the season would extend a little bit further. Now, again, the last part of this is not definite. They're throwing around a lot of different ideas, a lot of different plans, and so here's another quote. The official cautioned that nothing has been decided. They will continue to wait until advised by health and government officials that it's safe to start the season, holding out hope that teams could return to their major league cities, even including fans. Okay, so that's not happening. Right, there's not going to baseball's not going to be played this year in stadiums, in every team's normal stadium with fans. I think that's completely out of the question. The only thing that could happen is one of these creative plans. And Major League Baseball is discussing a bunch of them. Will one of them stick? Maybe. I hope so. Again, we talked about in the other video that there's a lot more important things right now than baseball. But if there is a safe way to do it, then it'll be interesting to see what plan is picked by Major League Baseball. So let me know what you guys think. If you haven't seen the other video, go out. It was a couple days ago. I'll put in the link below. I'll put a link in the description below. Go check that out. Let me know which plan do you like more. Do you like the Arizona-only plan? Do you like this new plan where it's Arizona and Florida? We've got the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League. Let me know what you guys think. If you have a better plan, maybe you got a better idea than this, put it in the comment section below. Maybe Major League Baseball will choose your plan. Anyways, that's all we got. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share the video with all your friends. Thank you to our patrons on Patreon who help support the channel. We really appreciate it. And if you like video games, go check our Twitch channel out, Antonelli Baseball. I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show 20 late at night. I need my baseball fix, so I've been doing that. Go check it out. We're streaming a bunch over there. That's all we have. Thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you later.